Welcome to episode 15. So today we're going to try to get almost this entire production floor finished. It's production floor 3. So we're going to make nobelisks and later rifle ammo, and I think I'm going to make rebar ammo there. We're going to make the important stuff: reinforced plates, encased beams, modular frames, AI limiters, which we've never made before. All this other stuff, well, not the rifle ammo or not the nobelisks and stuff, but everything else we made in the small factory. So this will be the first time for making the limiters, and then rotors, stators, motors, and then what we need for the space elevator, smart plating, versatile framework, and automated wiring. There's 2 more recipes. One of them I put there, crystal oscillators. We can't make it anyway because we don't have a machine that can take 3 inputs, and it takes 3 things. I can only craft them manually. Even if we did have the manufacturer, it won't physically fit there. I didn't think about that when I put the sign up. That was just like, oh, crystal oscillator. So that won't actually be there. So we're going to try to do all of that today. I also need to cover a few things that I did between episodes. We're down here on production floor 2. This is what we did last episode. We started down there and worked our way down to here. I was going to put reinforced plates here, and then when I tried to put my assembler blueprint, I'm like, oh, the assemblers are bigger, and it didn't quite fit. So I'm like, what else can I make that takes constructors? Quickwire. And it fits. Look, fits perfectly. I forgot, though, that we're only making half the Caterium right now because we have the pure nodes. I have to have 480 belts, and then we'll be able to double it. So when we double it, basically, I'm either going to have to put my little second layer in and put another 14, or we would have to move all this to a different floor. I don't know. We could put a second layer in. I did not hook it up yet, so I guess let's run down here real quick and try to remember which part of it I didn't hook up. And this one's weird because it's on this side, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't hook this up. That should get everybody going. And we should start making a bunch of Quickwire. Okay, I'll double check all these in a second. So the other thing is we need to go down to the logistics floor. Yes, down. Yeah, I've confused what floor I'm on. We have to go down to the logistics floor below this. All right, so you can see our Caterium coming in. Or no, Quickwire. You can see our Quickwire coming in. So last episode, just to make it a little easier, each thing that came onto the main bus, let's say for example here, it came onto the main bus, we put all of that in, and then it stopped and nothing continued. So what I did between episodes was I just took wherever it stopped, I ran it all the way down to the end, and I prepared to send it up to the other logistics floor, which you can see right down here. I had hoped originally to be able to send these up inside the building, and it's not going to work because we need that space on the production floors. So I came up with a blueprint that just adds 1 foundation on the sides of the building. And I already know in the front and the back of the building, I'm pretty sure we're going to do these round concrete pillars that'll be, half inside and half outside, like the one down there. And that'll support underneath each steel beam, and it'll look like the front and the back of the building are supported. I don't have anything to hold up the sides, though. The beams just came over and stopped. I'm sorry, the trusses came over and stopped. So this blueprint includes another steel beam, this little floor sticking out. I made it different because I'm not considering it part of the building. I've got some diagonals in there and stuff to hold it up. It's got all the floor holes. So that's our little extension. It's going to be on both sides of the building. It does not go down to that floor. It goes up and then it stops. It doesn't go all the way up either, like to the roof or anything. And now I'm stuck. All right, back in a second. All right, so these ones are easy, right? It's just 1 belt and you send it. Okay, don't ignore that. It's 1 belt, you send it up, 1 belt, 1 belt. Okay, concrete's 2. All right, that's fine. I've got room for 2. I can put 1 in front of the other. Okay, cool. Yep. Still going strong here. Steel beams, steel pipes. Okay, now we got 3 rods. All right, well, there was a space in between, so I can put 2 rods and then I can have the third one in the space. Cool, 3 rods, right? Okay, well then I've got 3 beams, and oh, now we've got 6 things of screws. These will get much simpler when we get quicker belts, and we've got 3 things of the Quickwire over here. So it gets a little confusing in this area. All that you need to know is we're taking this amount of belts, and we need to get it up onto the next logistics floor, which we're doing. So these go up, and I used floor holes and then the same blueprint. So let me run upstairs. Okay, so we're up here on this second logistics floor, which is near the top of the building. Everything basically is the reverse of what we did downstairs. So they're all here, the same number of belts in the same positions, and we've got the main bus up here ready to provide. There will be production floor 4 above us. We don't need that because we're working on 3, and 3 is the floor directly below us. So I'm ready to put machines on that floor. The problem is, let's say cable here. Let's say I need cable right now. How does the cable get here from here to over there? Well, it goes up to the ceiling. Oops. Yeah, and then it travels across the ceiling, and then it comes down, and then the finished product comes up to the ceiling, right, and goes back. So I don't need production floor 4. That's hard to say. Say that 5 times fast. I don't need it. We're not going to put anything up there. I'm still doing the other one, but I need it just so that I have the blueprint there. So we have all of the ceiling mounts. So real quick, I've already got a bunch of resources set up. I need to bring them all up here, and we're going to just time lapse it and just throw that down real quick, just so that we can run conveyors underneath it. So the time lapse is, you've seen it before a couple times. I've got the blueprint for the front row. It's logistics below, production above, which we've already used that blueprint. I just go down the front, put the front row in, and then start putting the other rows in until I get all the way to the back. I've got my little alignment arrows that are all half foundations, so I can easily delete them because you set the filter to half foundation and then you can wipe them out real quick. And I do go ahead here in a minute and I start putting the poles in. Number one, so that when we put the roof, the roof, right? Because this is the top production floor. When we put the roof on, the poles will be there. But also when you're building the production floor, sometimes you kind of forget that the pole might be there if you're trying to add a catwalk or whatever. So it's just a good reminder to have the pole there. And I did have just enough resources to put one roof segment on top. We don't need the roof. It does have conveyors underneath it, but we're not going to use those. It's got lights, but we don't really need that right now. So I just put one roof segment up just so you can see, hey, there's the roof. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got the roof on and we can start to bring stuff over. Now, the first one's always a challenge. I don't remember what was down here. What was it? Oh, that was the obelisk and stuff. I'll probably skip that one for now. We'll probably come over here to do the reinforced plates, which we're going to need plates and screws. So we'll be able to bring those over up and down. So let me go down here. And this one I have figured out. I put the stuff on the sign so I know what goes there. This one I actually know. If we make 60 a minute, which should I just make 30 a minute? I don't know though, because then we need more plates later. It's hard to say. I'm going to put it down for 60 a minute. And if that's too much, we can easily turn half of them off. But I got this figured out. We need 12 assemblers. So let me get that. And then, oh yeah. And then the encased beams are going to go here. I guess we'll do both of them at once because the assembler blueprint is for both of those. So I'm just going to go ahead. I don't even need to time lapse it. Same as last episode. Let me throw all these blueprints down for assemblers and then we'll come back when we're ready to turn it on. I think I've got everything set up. So we're doing the encased industrial beams, which takes steel beams and concrete. So the steel beams are coming down, they're going up, and then they're running that way. This is going to be easier when I can reduce some of these belts because I have to do some funny business. So that goes that way, and then the concrete's coming off and going that way. So those two are going up, or sorry, down. I'm used to the last floor. Though that should have been, huh? You should be, oh. One of these is not connected. Well, I'm really confused. Oh, you're connecting to, yeah, this is gonna drop me though. Can I get the other snap point in there? That one. There it goes. Okay. Like I was saying. So then those two are going down to feed that. And then we need screws and plates. So the plates are going up and they're the high one. So they're above these two. The plates are coming over here. And then right here, they're coming off this line. So there's 270 plates. We're going to take 180. There's going to be 90 left. We're not really taking 180 though, because it's a Mark III belt. So it's going to take the whole belt. But once it backstuffs, we're only going to take 180 and 90 will be left. The screws were a little more complicated. I took one entire belt, split it into two, and then those two run down. But then I needed to add more. So then I took the next belt, split it just to get 90 off. But again, I had to use a Mark II belt, so we're actually taking off 120. There's your Mark II belt. It splits, and then those go up and merge back in. And that gets us a little more than we need. But once it backstuffs, it will only be taking... Can't see that one. It will only be taking 90, and it'll leave us 180 on that belt. So we eliminated a belt. There's 90 left. This one, we just took 180 off, and the belt's still there. And then these, we didn't take much. All right, let me run upstairs and get power hooked up downstairs. I'm not gonna remember this for a while. I'm so used to going the other way. So we are gonna make 30 reinforced plates a minute. I decided to half it. So we're gonna have one belt of iron at 180, two belts of screws at 180, which was kind of hard to do. 6 assemblers. We're going to put 30 out. So there's that. And then the power is here. Yeah, I got to hook this one up. That should get all those going and making us 30 reinforced plates. Now the encased industrial beams. There's only one machine hooked up. We're going to make 6 a minute. I'm going to get 18 steel beams and 36 concrete. I have plenty of concrete. The problem is steel beams. We don't have much steel right now. We're only making 240 steel. We need the Mark IV belts to go to 480, and that's still not enough. We need to drastically increase the steel production at some point. But the thing is, we're not even using these for anything yet. So we're just going to make 6 a minute. That's okay. And then I got to hook the power up again. The assemblers are confusing because they're backwards. Basically, I'm using machines now that are backwards that I'm used to, and the floor is backwards, so everything is just backwards. And that should get this one single machine making some beams. All right, so that will get us both of those. So for the next run, modular frames and AI limiters. Let me get set up for that. Okay, we're back on logistics floor 2, and last time we did the last clip, we did the reinforced plates, and then we did, what is it? Oh, the, what are these called? Encased industrial beams. I want to call them reinforced beams. So I didn't show putting these two in. I had to put these two in. It was very, very tight jamming these in, just because like there's room there, but this one was right up against the pillar. So those two are there. So we've got our next, section here set up, and what I've got, come on, pick something. To make the AI limiters, we've got copper sheets and Caterium, so those are both going up and heading down, and then heading down to the production 3. We also need reinforced plates back there, which I was just at, and rods, so the rods are going down. Now the issue with the reinforced plates is these storage containers prefer the top outlet. I'm sorry, that's the input. The other one's the other way. It prefers the top outlet. So nothing is coming out yet and going on this belt because it went up here, right? And that's full. And then it went up here, and now it's filling this up. And when this fills up and then they're in here, some of it will start coming out. Actually, I'm talking about this one. But so we're getting there, but I have a ton of reinforced plates from back at the little base. I had an industrial storage container full of them because I was using them to handcraft the crystal oscillators. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in. And I think it's going to come out this side. Or is it going to come out the other side? When the next one comes down, which should not take very long. Well, anyways. Okay, they're going to come out this side. So that speeds that up. So I come back down here. Oh, this is the one. This one's got my inventory in it because I had to go and pick all that stuff up. Get rid of that. So I'm out of the Mercer spheres, so I can't make any more. So this is setting up for the output that we're getting ready to do. I've just got a regular storage container and a regular storage container because I can't make any more of that blueprint. So let's run upstairs now because we've got our 4 inputs and we've got our 2 outputs and we've got them running to storage containers. Okay, well, my bad. I pressed the button to start recording in OBS. I didn't actually look over and verify it was recording, and apparently I didn't click the button hard enough or whatever. So yeah, you missed me hooking this up. So basically I hooked up power to both of these and discovered that there was no reinforced plate, so I had to run down the stairs, and I found kind of the same problem I had in an earlier segment where up on the ceiling, the conveyor lift ends up getting really close to the ceiling mount and the belt snaps to the ceiling mount instead of snapping to the lift. So I fixed that, and then these are going, and I have not gone through and checked what we were making before. So I don't know if that's right or not. But anyways, coming back over here. So we're making 10 modular frames a minute, and that's because we're using 60 rods, which is, we're using 60 rods, which is fine. I can use way more. But I'm using 15 reinforced plates. That's half my plates. Could I make more plates? I absolutely can. So we can easily turn this up if we want to. And that's just getting us 10 frames. Over here, I'm making 10 AI limiters a minute. And it's using 200 Quickwire. We have 800 right now that we're making. And when we get the 480 belt, we'll be able to double it to 1600. So Quickwire is not a problem at all. I am using 50 copper sheets a minute, and I'm only making 120. So that's kind of our limiting factor here, but I'm not even using these for anything except when I make like a smart splitter. It's going to be used later in recipes, so we're going to need a lot more than this, but for now, that's fine. So both of those are running along with the other 2. And next we're going to make rotors and stators. And I use rotors for something. It's in one of the machines that I make. The stators, I don't think I use for anything yet, but obviously we're going to want them, and we're going to want to get the motors going. And then we'll be able to get the 3 things that we need to complete phase 2, which we desperately need to get them going because we're not going to be able to make that many of those a minute, unfortunately, just because they're relying on things that are relying on things that are relying on things, and I don't want to send it all to those 3 items. So let me get set up for rotors and stators and figure out how many of those we can make a minute. Okay, I'm usually wrong about something, but I think that was it. So we've got our wire coming and splitting off and going down. We need exactly 2 more things of screws. So this one up here is a partial, so I just left it up there. I pulled those 2 out completely and then brought the partial down. So we got 2 full ones and a partial left. Over here with the rods, this top one's a partial, and we pulled more out because it was a 270. So now it's down to 114, and then we've still got the 270s. And then the steel pipe, we're making 40 a minute, and I think I'm taking 30 a minute. Yeah, there should be a sign there, but I think that's it. So let me run upstairs. I don't know which way's quicker. Oh, and I've got the outputs going back and then going into storage containers again. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make 19.2 rotors a minute. Why is that? Well, it's because I'm bringing up 96 iron rods, which is fine. And then I'm bringing up 2 belts of 240 of screws. And that's just what's on a belt is 240. So technically to be able to do 100%, I need 500. That's not worth messing with. So we just do 2 belts of 240. We're going to make 19.2 rotors a minute instead of 20, whatever. So that's not too bad. That's going to take 5 assemblers, 72 megawatts. The stators are more of an issue because it takes steel pipes. We're only making 40. I'm going to use 30 of them and only 80 wire, which is fine. And that's going to have 2 constructors run at 100%. It's only going to give us 10 stators. And stators and rotors are 1-to-1 when we make the motors. So if we wanted to use every single one of our stators, we could only make 10 motors. I think it's 10 a minute.
Hard work pays off.
5 a minute, right? It's half. It does take equal numbers, but it's half that. So in order to make 5 motors a minute, we would have to use all of our stators and have no more stators left over, which we haven't done anything like that. Stators are used in yeah, and we're going to need stators in the automated wiring down here. So we definitely cannot use all of our stators. So we're going to be making less than 5 motors a minute. It all goes back to steel. Every single other thing that comes from iron, I can turn up. I can turn it up a lot. It's the steel. We need a lot more steel. And we could go somewhere else on the map. I know I'm going to double the steel here, and I've got coal over there I could bring in. I don't have any more iron to go with it, but one of the reasons when I went out to that Caterium node and I made that big wide bridge, because other places where I've had 1 or 2 conveyors, I haven't done something that big. The reason I did it that big is there's like, I don't even remember, 10 or 12 impure iron nodes over there. So we can bring back, it's either 4 belts or 6 belts of 240 of iron. So we could bring back a lot more iron, more than we have to go with that coal, and then double that coal and double that coal. And we could make more steel here, but we could also just go find some other place on the map where there's a bunch of coal and a bunch of iron, and we could just have a steel factory and then just have a truck bring like steel ingots back or whatever. So we got a couple options, but that's what I like about this factory design is we've got it going and we know right away, like, okay, we're going to need more. Well, thanks to the blueprint, it's all here. All I have to do to make more is come back, and I've got the inputs. Oh, I haven't hooked power up. I've got the inputs disconnected there. So those 2 are cut off, and the output's disconnected and the power's disconnected. So these other machines aren't doing anything, but all we got to do is connect the conveyors and the power and turn them on, and they're all set. Yeah, we should probably hook up the power and actually get some stuff running. That should get you going. That should get you going. So that's why I like this modular design. I'm using all 5 here, but I can immediately add more there. I can just drop another blueprint down and connect it together, so on and so forth. I am kind of curious where we're at on power. And I think the max, it jumped around there because stuff was going in the machines, I guess. No. Why is the max different? I don't know. Anyways, we've still got 4,800. If everything is running, we're at 4,000. So we could probably finish out this floor for less than 800 because we're not going to make many of these things, right? Like, we're not making many motors, and we're definitely not going to make any of these 3 things. So we'll probably be able to finish out this floor for less than 800, and we could run everything at 100% and sink whatever is left over and still not run out of power, which is good because this needs to last until we get to oil. All right, so that was a little bit of talking, but there was a lot to say there. So next, I'm going to do the motors and the smart plating. We already know I only need 1 assembler for the motors. For the smart plating, I probably need 1 or 2. I'm still going to drop that blueprint down because we're going to expand it later. We're going to need more than, 3 or 4 motors a minute. So let me get to that. So I'm not ready for the next section yet, but I was just kind of messing around here and looking. And I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Yeah, so the blueprint for the assemblers, this is a Mark 1 lift. But we have, what are we making here? These are the reinforced plates. They need 60 a minute, and it's got 60 a minute, but it will never fill up. So these should kind of be Mark 2s just until they fill up. And then it could be... game save there kind of got me. Then once they fill up, you could switch them back to 60. That one wasn't too bad, though. Those are still running at 100%. The bigger problem was, let's see. Nope, not there and not there. The bigger problem was here. Yeah, because we're doing 480 screws a minute. So each one of these needs 96 screws a minute, but I only had a Mark 1. So none of this was working properly. And because I was standing here and I'm like, man, those screws, I need 2 belts of 240. Like the screws should just kind of be flowing continuously. And So I upgraded those, and it's all looks to be flowing continuously now on can't see. Oh, there's the other one. Yeah. So both of those should just flow continuously and not stop. The other stuff is all less than a full belt, so it's going to stop. And there is a bug. There's a little mistake in the blueprint, and I got to go in the blueprint designer. That piece of belt, right there, is not. Is it that one or is it here? No, it's that one, I think. When you put the blueprint down, that piece of belt, it's either that piece of belt coming out of that splitter or this piece coming out of this splitter. It's not there, and so it busts the whole thing. So I've had to remember each time to try to add that piece of belt in. All right, anyways, so I was trying to lay out down here, so I'll just show you now. So what are we making? Motors, yes. I don't have it, like I said, it's not ready. So we're gonna end up, yeah, wish I had a jetpack. We're going to end up making 3.75 motors a minute. I realize now that's backwards. Those should be over here and those should be over there. Yeah, I'll fix that. We're going to use 7.5 rotors a minute and 7.5 stators a minute. And that's because we're only making 10 stators, 7.5 here, and I need 2.5 down there. So 7.5. So that's 7.5. So it's going to give us 3.75. It's just one assembler at 75%. Over here, the smart plating, doing a lot better with this because we need rotors and reinforced plates. So I'm going to do 4 and 4. It's going to make us 4 smart plating a minute. So I was going to do this. I'm like, oh, 5 a minute. Yeah, 2.5 modular frames. That's cool. 30 steel beams. I don't think we have 30 steel beams. We're making 45 and I'm already using more than 15. More than 15. I want to say I'm using 30. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. And then this one, I think 2.5 of these a minute's fine because we only need 100. So I was really wanting, since this one was at 5, I was trying to get that one at 4. So they'd be similar numbers because they both have to get to 1,000. But steel again, it's the steel again. So we're going to end up having one of these for sure and at 100%, maybe one of these at 50%, I think. And then of course this we can't make. So I think just since I showed you that, I'll go ahead and get this all set up and I'll get that set up and then we'll come back. I'm still not quite ready, but I thought maybe I'd show it from this perspective. Maybe this makes it a little simpler. So here's the output from downstairs and it goes up and then it stops, right? And then there's the other output going up and stopping. And then these are the 4 inputs going up and then stopping, right? And so it's just a matter of, this is your first output. So you're going to go up and you're going to go down until whatever the next available one is, right? Because each one of these is taken. Even though there's nothing on them, they're all taken. So you're just going to come all the way down. And this is the last one. So then, okay, this is the one for that output, right? And then the other output, then if we use this one, the other output's going to come down and it's going to come onto that one, right? And you can see how many more we got left. The inputs, it's just a matter of what do I need on these, right? What resource do I need? And then you're coming down until you get to the resource. And a lot of what takes so much time is running that resource down. I could just run every single thing down. It's just a lot of work. So it's just simpler to figure out what do I need. And if it's one of the ones that's way down there, well, then I got to run it way down here. But it could be something that's close and I just run it a short distance. So that's kind of how the system works, is every time you've got an output, doesn't really matter how many outputs you have, you're just going to go up and you're going to go down to the next available slot. And then whatever you need, you're just going to go down until you get over it and then go down and pull it up and come back. And in a perfect world, this is exactly how I would lay out like a permanent mega factory, except I would make it where I could keep going that way. That's the only issue here. And I did it on purpose, put us right at the edge of the cliff, because I don't want to just keep, it's already too big. The building already turned into, it was supposed to be the medium factory, and it's kind of big for a medium factory. We, I don't know, we, let's say out of 100, like that's a 5, and I wanted to go to like 25, and we're at like 65 or something. So we did a little too big of a jump, but anyhow, that's how that works. So I got to finish doing this and then doing that, but I just wanted to kind of show it because it's a little easier to see when there's less stuff going on. I possibly have it all done. I'm sure I've missed something because that was a lot. The cable I had to bring all the way from the other end. So we're doing 2 things here and 2 things there. So I've got that finished output going down, going to a container, the 4 inputs going, another output go into a container, another output go into a container, another output go into a container over here, and then 4 more inputs. Yes, 4 inputs. I think I might have it. I'm like less confident now because that was twice as much as I've been doing, and it's late, so I'm tired. All right, let's run up here. And by up here, I mean downstairs. By the time I figure it out, we're going to be done with this floor. All right, so I think everything's good. So we're going to make 2.5 automated wiring, which is just 1 machine at 100%, which is fine. We're going to make... I had 27 steel beams left. So we're going to go ahead and use all of them, which means technically we have no steel beams. We're not going to build up steel beams. Now the container's full, so, you know, yeah, it's a problem. So we can't quite get a full one. It's just going to be 1 assembler at 90%. So instead of 5, it's 4.5. But 4.5 on that and 4 on the smart plating. Those will kind of go up at the same amount, and that's what we need 1,000 of each. This thing over here, we only need 100, and it's doing 2.5, so I'm okay with that. And then what else are we making? Oh yeah, motors, 3.75. So at 75% because of stators, because I'm using 7.5 there, and I'm using 2.5 down there, and yeah, blah, 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 blah. Steel. All right, let's look that up. I did change my blueprint to fix that little bug where there was just 1 belt that wasn't connected. Where am I going here? Oh, here. That one. And this is difficult. I probably shouldn't use that line as the one that I don't connect because it's kind of the harder one. Okay, everything possibly is running. I'm sure at least one thing is wrong. So we should be making some motors on just this one. And there we go. Made a couple motors. And we should be making some smart plating. Looks like we are. So 2 a minute and then 2 a minute. Okay. And then over here, we're just going to be 1 machine each, I believe. Be making some versatile frameworks. 4.5. That looks correct. All those belts are gone. And automated wiring. 50 cable a minute. Now, I only gave it a Mark 1. I mean, that's 60. It'll fill up eventually. All right, so that's technically all we can do. Even if I wanted to do this, I don't have the machine to do it, and the manufacturer can't go there. So we still need to make crystal oscillators, and we need to make the SAM one that takes 3. So we'll need manufacturers for those. We don't have them yet. They'll both have to go upstairs. Hopefully I get some other recipe that I can put here. Oh, and we never did the very beginning. I'll do that between episodes because that one's a little complicated. I got to do the Novelisk and I got to do the rebar ammo. Oh, and I don't have steel pipes because I used all the steel pipes. Anyways, yeah, we're going to have to. So here's what we're going to have to do. Let me just stop what I'm about to say because I was going to say it anyway. So what do we need to do next time, right? We can't finish this. We can't go to production 4. I don't have anything else to build. We need more Mercer spheres. I'm putting storage containers in there and I don't want to. I want to use my blueprint to put the permanent thing, but I need more Mercer spheres to put down more of the dimensional depots. And also the dimensional depots, I'm still having to go up to the storage containers and get stuff, okay? Because we're only doing 15 a minute. And what we really need, this upgrade goes to a stack size 1, so we can only hold 1 stack and we can only go 15 a minute. So that gets us another stack, another stack, another stack, another stack. And then these are, and the upload speed's confusing because I think, oh yeah, because it says to 30 a minute and then to 60 a minute. And I don't understand their percent there. So you're at 15 and you're going to go to 30 and somehow that's 50%. Like those numbers don't work. That's not a 50% increase. You're doubling it. It's 200%. Anyways, or would you say 100%? Either way. And then to go from 30 to 60 is 25. And then to go to 60 to 125 is upload speed 12.5%. Like, I'm not clear on that, what the percent is. But anyways, if you look at what it takes as far as the Mercer spheres, 3 and 7, that's 10. And then 13. So that's doubling it. So I feel like, okay, 3 and 7's 10. And same thing over here. 3 and 7's 10. So that's 20. That one I can't do yet anyway. So we need 20 Mercer spheres to do some upgrades. And that would get us from 15 a minute to 60 a minute, which would be great. Yeah, 60 a minute. And it would hold 3 stacks. So I want to get that, but I also need a bunch of Mercer spheres to go and put down a bunch more depots. So we need to collect a whole lot of Mercer spheres, basically. We need a lot more steel because pretty much everything where it's like, man, I'm not making much of that. It's because of the steel. And we need to finish tier 4 because I don't think I ever unlocked, what was it? The hyper tubes and, the power towers, which I'm, wasn't worried about, but we need to get those unlocked. And then basically just let the game run so that it can produce the automated wiring and the framework and the smart plating. And we can start getting that stuff so we can go to the next phase on the space elevator. So what are we going to do next time exactly? I'm not sure which one of those to do first. Obviously, we can't do tier 4. That'll just be a background thing waiting on those to run. And when it happens, it happens. Actively, though, we're either going to collect a whole bunch of Mercer spheres or we're going to double our steel. I'm not sure which one. We'll do one of them and then we'll start doing the other. And whenever the tier 4 is ready to, I say the tier 4. No, we need to finish the tier 4. We can do that probably right away next episode. We need to wait for those to run to go to tier 5 and 6. That's what I meant to say. All right. Anyways, long story short, see you next time.